Mr. Good morning. कल शायद आपका है ना?
हाँ कल है। देखते हैं, हो सकता है कहीं ऋषिकेश ले।
हाँ ठीक है।
तो
हाँ कल
परसों,
ऋषिकेश लेने से परसों आप ले सकते हैं।
देखते हैं। नहीं तो परसों
हाँ
उसको वो जैसा बोले आज क्लास के बाद पूछेंगे।
हाँ। Good morning, Farooq.
Good morning. I'm trying to switch off.
Farooq, you are from Nigeria?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Miss Yobo University? Yobo University or somewhere else? Yes, Farooq, you are from Yobo University?
Farooq just woke up. That's why. Okay, so he will reply after some time.
Because in Africa,
Yes,
4 hours
it's
before.
early morning. Yes, it's early morning.
And many of the African students are attending seriously, sincerely they are attending.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Farooq, you are from Yobo University?
Yes, I'm from Nigeria. And in
Which
Africa,
university? Which university?
sorry, sir.
Which university you
Which
are?
university?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yobe State University
Okay, good.
in Nigeria.
So how was all the sessions till now you are attending? It is informative, helpful.
Yes, the summer class has been helpful. I was exposed to the simple tools used in Python. Even though I have a basic knowledge on Python,
Okay.
and secondly, again, Dr. Sumit has done a very wonderful job in data science, and also I was being exposed to how to navigate myself using the overleaf and the cover. So the training has been helpful, and hopefully after the training, I should be able to do things on my own. Except in terms of difficulty, I will always at all time consult Mr. Sumit. Yes, sir.
So we are always here. Sumit sir is here. Okay, definitely. If you are going to continue with us, definitely it will be helpful for both of us. For Sumit sir, me,
Yes.
you. Okay, all the people. Thank you very much. At least.
Yes, sir. Thank
helpful.
you. Thank
you. Rishi sir, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning. So we'll wait another 3 minutes.
Sure.
Let student join. Just now I talked with one African student, Farooq. So how was the things?
Yeah.
He is satisfied. Okay.
Okay.
And
yeah,
definitely wants to continue with us.
Yeah.
Because many of the students are from Nigeria and other University of Africa has joined.
Yeah.
So they are 4 hours, 5 hours behind our timing. It's Indian timing. So still they are attending very good.
Yeah. Sure.
So let us wait for another 3 minutes, then we'll start.
Sure. Yeah, I will start. Let me share my screen. Good morning, everyone. So let me share my screen and start. I think you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. So today we will go through system hacking. So which is a next step uh, after reconnaissance, scanning, and vulnerability assessment. Then we go and do active pen testing. So this is a part of penetration testing that we do. And the main objective of this stage is to see how we can bypass the security configurations or the security controls that have been deployed. So at this stage, we actually test the strength of the security controls that organization has deployed. So if you remember yesterday that in this, I mentioned in the slides, you might have seen that vulnerability assessment doesn't uh, assess the strength of security controls, but the actual penetration testing, system hacking, that is the mechanism to test the strength of security controls that we have deployed. So if there are some misconfigurations or security controls uh, are not properly deployed, then we can always bypass the security controls. So the idea is to measure the strength of security controls and see from the perspective of attackers how they can bypass our systems. So in this one, we will go through the certified ethical hacker hacking methodology, that is CEH. You might have heard about the certification also, certified ethical hacker. So we will go through the hacking methodology, and then we will also see the different mechanisms to access the system and how we can apply privilege escalation techniques. So what it means, for instance, you might have seen that in your system there are generally 3 or 4 users, like a guest, a normal user, or maybe a user with your name if you are accessing the system, and then there is an admin account. So the idea is to see if we have got the access as a guest or as a normal user, then try to get admin rights, because without admin rights on the system, we cannot go and install any malicious applications. So that's why the attackers, once they get access to the system, they try to see how they can get root access on Linux system or admin rights on Windows systems. And then we'll go through the different techniques to get access and how we can maintain the remote access on the system. And then after performing all those pen testing or malicious activities, we will see how we can clear the logs. So clearing the logs is also important on when you are performing any attack. So from the attacker's perspective, what they try to do, they will try to clear the logs so that they can hide all the information of like when the system was accessed for the first time, how it was compromised. Because once security administrator or the organization, when they will know that their system were compromised, then first thing that they will do, they will go and check the logs, so that they can find at what time, on what day that the system was accessed, and who accessed the system, and what actions or activities that the person performed. So all those things, attackers, what they try to do, they try to clear the logs. And then we will see what are the countermeasures that generally that we should deploy to mitigate these kind of hacking threats. So this is a certified ethical hacker hacking methodology. So we have already gone through footprinting, then scanning, enumerations, like or enumerating all the systems in the infrastructure. That is like through the also we can do it with Nmap scan or other. And then yesterday we went through the vulnerability analysis, that how we can identify the weakness in the system. So vulnerability, as I mentioned earlier, it is a weakness in the system that makes attackers to exploit the system or compromise the system. So after doing footprinting activity and scanning the system and finding out what are the ports and services which are running on the machine, and also what type of operating systems that the target is using, and what is the network topology. So once we find all those details, and also if we are able to do scan the whole infrastructure. So if we have identified and enumerated all those information, then the idea is to use those information and perform vulnerability analysis, and then try to identify what are the weakness in the system or security misconfiguration. So you can use the tools like OpenVAS, Nessus, Nexpose. And yesterday we showed that how we can use OpenVAS, which is also a widely used tool for vulnerability assessment. And once we have identified vulnerability, then the idea is to get access to the system. And then for getting access, the first thing is to crack the password, or like deploy for instance, remote access Trojan, and monitor all the activities, and then see if we can get access to the system password, then compromise those password and crack those passwords. And once we have done that, then try to escalate the privileges and try to get admin rights. And if we have got the admin rights, then we can install some more malicious applications, maybe some malware which is designed to perform exfiltration activities, stealing the confidential data or trade secrets. And then once we have performed all those activities, then idea is to clear all the logs so that we can cover our tracks. So that is the full certified ethical hacker hacking methodology. So and that is the process that generally they follow actually. So the main idea in this one is to this is all grouped in under system hacking. So first try to get access to the system, maybe by developing some payload and Trojans. And once we have done that, then try to see whether we can get access to the passwords. So generally you will not get a password in clear text, that is for sure. So Windows uses anti-LM hash algorithm to store the password in a newer version of the Windows, and then say copy those hashes and then run some password cracking tools and try to crack the passwords. And then once we have got the passwords, then maybe you can use those passwords for some other activities also related with the organization, maybe logging in there some other portals and anything. And once you have compromised the password, maybe you have compromised the password of a normal user, or the or any other guest machine, or maybe some other user account that they have. And then see whether we can get admin rights on that system or not. So because without getting admin rights, you won't be able to perform any other activities. If you want to deploy some malware or some virus or ransomware, it is not possible. So, and then once it has been done, then the idea is to maintain the access. So what attackers generally do once they have compromised the infrastructure, it is not like they will just launch attack next day or in the next hour. What they will try to do, they will try to sit silently, like through the remote access Trojan or through some malware, and they will just collect all the traffic information, all the activities, like what are the files, what generally different users do on that system or in the network, and they will try to monitor all the activities and capture all the traffic, and they will try to analyze it for a long time without doing any malicious activities. And they will just observe, because by just silently observing all the user activities, all the traffic, they will get a lot of information that they can use to design the attack or activities, malicious activities that they want to perform. So that is like maintaining access through malware or through some virus or through some remote access Trojan. And once they have achieved their goal, then what they try to do, they try to clear the logs, so that if once the system administrator or security administrator, they will go and check how the system was compromised, when it was compromised, and like what was the entry point in the infrastructure. They will not get much information because logs are cleared. So the idea is to like understand how attackers work and then think for security, how we can deploy the securities. It's not like we have to go and compromise some system or hack some system. So idea is to think from attacker's perspective and then think for what kind of security countermeasures that we can deploy to make our system more secure. So these are the system hacking goal, and these are the different hacking stage. So first, what we try to do, we try to get access to the system. So objective is to bypass access control that they have deployed and then get access to the system. So what we can do to get access to the system, there are different ways. So you can try to brute force attack password and try to crack the passwords. You can analyze, perform vulnerability assessment and try to see what are the vulnerabilities. And if, let's say, yesterday we saw that there was a FTP service running with just without a secure password, and we it was showing that we can use any password, anonymous, and we are able to access the FTP service. So if we have found those kind of vulnerabilities, then we can just go and access the system. And then there is another way, like to perform social engineering attacks. So social engineering attacks, like we perform phishing attacks and try to get like user credentials and then try those credentials to get access to the system. So there are different techniques. It's not like just one technique will work. From attackers' perspective, they try to use different methods, different techniques, and when it works, they try to get access to the system. So the idea is to think like what attackers can do to get access to our system. They can try brute force attack, so make your password complex. They can try to analyze vulnerability and see whether they can access the system through some weak passwords or through some anonymous password or any credentials. So if there is something like that, then close those service or make passwords mandatory requirement and make your password strong. And social engineering, of course, they can use phishing attacks. It is very common nowadays. So what you can do, you can create cyber awareness, you can use the spam filters and create cyber awareness among your employees and make sure that they know that if they receive any email, you should not go and directly click on the links or download the files. First, make sure that it is coming from the authenticated source, and then only try to open the links and provide the informations. And also make sure that you have good email security and also intrusion detection systems and those things that you have. And then once they have got access, what they can do, they can try to escalate the privilege. So try to get the admin rights. So by getting the admin rights, they can deploy further malicious applications. So what they can do to get access to the admin rights, maybe they will get to know some vulnerabilities. So maybe once they have got access, they will again perform vulnerability scanning and try to see if they find any known vulnerabilities that they can exploit to get higher privileges. So if you find that there are some misconfigurations or weakness in your system which can allow an attacker to get higher privilege, then configure your system correctly. So that is the countermeasures that you can deploy. And then they can, once they have got access, they can try to execute some applications. So applications, I mean malicious applications, which can provide them to maintain the remote access. So they can deploy remote access Trojans, spywares, backdoors, some keyloggers to log all the keystrokes, and they will try to find user credentials from that. Or they can just deploy remote access Trojan that will also give them the credentials. So for protecting our system through these Trojan spywares or any keyloggers, you need to have anti-malware protection that will flag that if we have the Trojans or keyloggers, they can flag that there is some malicious application. And then once they have got access, they also try to hide malicious activities and try to steal some data by deploying some further applications, some rootkits. So you need to constantly monitor your system for any kind of unknown traffic that you see from going from your system to some remote system. And then they try to cover the attacks. So what they will try to do, they will try to delete all the logs so that nobody will know how the system was compromised, when it was compromised, and what was the entry point, and what activities were performed. So the idea is to continuously, like every 12 hours, have the backup of your logs, not only on your servers that are the prime target, but somewhere else also in some other networks. Just generate the once the system is generating the logs, after every 12 hours, get the backup to some other places also, so that from those once attackers have cleared the logs on that system, you always have a backup to where you can log in and analyze all the activities. So getting access to the system is, of course, it's not easy. So attackers, what they try to do, they try to perform social engineering attacks, or they will also try to brute force the user credentials. And for instance, in the Microsoft Windows system, the passwords are stored in the security account manager SAM database in the C directory, and it is a one-way hash. So you cannot just directly go and copy that file and try to break the credentials. It is not easy. So that file is generally logged by the operating system, and you can always access when there is some blue screen error or operating system has shut down in some other ways. So then maybe you can dump the contents on some of the SAM file. So attackers generally, what they try to do, once they have got access to the system through, let's say, some remote access Trojan that they have deployed, they will try to access the SAM database and see if they can copy those contents, they will try to use some tools and try to see what are the passwords, user credentials, and passwords that are saved in that system. So securing your SAM database is also important. I mean, you should always try to see all the different activities that is getting performed in the systems, so that you will monitor if anybody is trying to copy or dump some contents, you will notice those activities. So this is the SAM database. So this is a very generic figure. So here you can see that this file is stored in C directory of Windows System 32 config and SAM. You can go and check on your Windows system where it is stored. So these are the different username that you see here on the left side of the screen here. And then these are the corresponding user ID. So 500 is generally assigned to the administrator, and then 501 is generally assigned in Windows to the guest. And then we have the different username that you see here, 104, 103. And then you see here no password and star. So that is LM hash. So LM hash technique was proposed by Microsoft in early 90s for their Windows system. I think it was using this technique till in Windows 95, in Windows 98. So, but now this technique is obsolete, and it was not a very good security also. So they developed a new technique called anti-LM hash. So in your SAM database, if you see something like this, like a password or some star or with or a continuous, like a constant string at every place here in the place of LM hash, so that means it is disabled. Or if you just see a blank dash or anything, so that means the LM hash is disabled. And generally Windows now disable those LM hashes. So LM hash, it was weak because what generally they used to do, for instance, let's say you have some password. So what it will do, it will convert all the strings to uppercase. And then after converting it to uppercase, it will, if the password length is less than 14 characters, it will pad with some other characters and make it 14-bit strings. And once it is 14-bit strings, then it will split it into like 7-bit and 7-bit separate strings. And then it used to perform DES encryption. So it will use generate a key, and then it will use DES encryption. And it was very easy to crack this LM hash. And then once they have applied DES encryption on the two separate strings, then they will combine it and get a 16-bit LM hash. So they will use 7-bit and 7-bit, and they will generate a 8-bit. I think they used to generate 8-bit string for one half, and another 8-bit string for another half, and then they will combine it. But this was a very weak technique, because if, let's say, the password is only of 6 characters, then they will pad it, convert it, and then they will pad it. And it was very easy to brute force these passwords actually. So then with new Windows, especially in the Windows NT system, Microsoft removed this LM hash technique, and they proposed this new anti-LM hash. So in this one, passwords, they were not converted to uppercase letters. What they instead they will do, they will take the password and they will use Unicode technique, like 16-bit. I think Ali, I will send you in the message. So that is the Unicode mechanism that they will use to get the encoded string, and then they will apply MD4 hash algorithm, and then they will generate this anti-LM hash. But now with newer Windows, I mean, of course, this is not very secure because MD4, MD5 algorithm now they are considered cryptographically weak. Even SHA-1 is not secure now. So they have improved, and always the Kerberos and other technique, they are considered more secure than these anti-LM hash, because Kerberos, it also uses encryption and ticket generation systems. But this was used in Windows XP and I think in Windows 7. But you will see these LM hashes. I will show that anti-LM hash, how it is stored. But now it is considered to use Kerberos and other authentication protocols which are more secure. So the password cracking that many attackers they use, it is like the process of getting the passwords from maybe somebody is communicating with their servers, and let's say attackers have already got access to the infrastructure. So maybe they are silently monitoring all the traffic. So if somebody is trying to access the servers from their laptop, they will silently monitor all the traffic, whether the password is uh, uh, passing in a clear text, or it is getting encrypted, or how it is passing. So everything they will monitor, and then they will try to analyze those data and see whether they can find the password. They will also use brute force technique to guess the password. So that is also one of the way. And then they will use some other password technique if the password are hashed. So like John the Ripper, Hashcat, they can break those hashes and get the give the clear text password. So generally these passwords are stored in a hash format, even in Windows and in the Linux system. So these tool like John the Ripper and Hashcat tool, what it will do, it will use some algorithm, and it will try to break those hashes and give the clear text passwords. So what you can do to secure from password attack. So the general idea is to make your password complex and with uppercase, lowercase characters, some special characters in between. So that is the only way to make your password more secure. So these are the types of password attacks that generally attackers can perform. And we should always know these different mechanisms. So non-electronic attack is like social engineering technique, like through phishing or through shoulder surfing. What is shoulder surfing is like maybe in your organization, we are sitting in sequence, and somebody is sitting behind me, or let's say in a cafe, you are trying to log in into some systems, and somebody is just monitoring from behind, and they will try to see what you are typing. And if you are typing some credentials, they will find that. So that is called shoulder surfing. Social engineering attack is like they try to perform phishing and spear phishing attack, and they will send you some phishing links, and maybe somebody will open the link, and they will provide some confidential information like username, passwords, email, or password. So through that they will get the passwords. And dumpster diving is another thing. Like what happens in many organizations, like let's say they are discussing some architecture, network architecture, or any other confidential information, and they are also writing some password or even some other information. So what they will do after the meeting, many times what people generally do, they will tear that sheets where they have written all those information, and they will throw in the dustbin. Or maybe even without tearing them, they will just throw those papers in the dustbin. And let's say somebody has already got some physical access to your infrastructure, they will just go and see those trash can, and they will try to find what are the confidential informations that are written in those papers, and they will try to collect those papers, and then maybe they will analyze those papers for any confidential information that they can find. And then this is a active online attack. So attackers, what they will try to do, they will try to communicate with the target machine to obtain the password access. So what they will try use, they will use some remote access trojans. They will deploy some key loggers that will monitor all the activities, like the person who is typing some username, passwords, or whatever the person is typing, the key loggers will log all those keystrokes, and they will send it to the command and control server, where an attacker is monitoring all these activities, and then they will get access to the passwords. And then there are some other algorithms like Kerberos password cracking, Markov chain attacks. So that is also you can perform. And then passive online attack, what attackers generally they do not directly interact with the system, but they will passively monitor all the data getting forwarded over the communication channel. So for instance, for example, let's say I'm trying to access my email server or some web server in my infrastructure. So if attackers has already got access to our infrastructure, maybe they will just silently monitor all the traffic information, and they will try to find passwords from those data forwarding. So they will try to see and find all those passwords from there, or they will perform man in the middle attack, and they will try to see the passwords. And then these is another one is offline attack. So what attackers they will do, they will deploy some remote access Trojan, and they will try to copy those hash that system is stored, I mean the hash of the passwords, and then they will dump all those hashes, and then they will run some algorithms, or they will run some tools to crack those hash dump, and they will recover the clear text passwords. So that is an offline attack. So where let's say I have got access to some remote machine, and I'm using some remote access Trojan, and I'm dumping all the hashes that are stored in the SAM database. And once I have dumped all those hashes, I will just copy that, and I will try to run some tools like Hashcat, John the Ripper, and I will try to break the passwords. So that is offline attack that we call. So how we can defend against password cracking? So of course, there are a lot of guidelines that you will see to secure your system from password cracking. So the first is like always make your password complex and strong. So you should not use very weak passwords, and do not use the same password over different portals. For instance, let's say you are using some credentials for your email accounts, and then do not use the same credentials at some other platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook or any other social networking platform, or even in your organization. Do not use the same password. Always try to have the different passwords. What happens many a times, people share the same passwords on multiple platform, and if one platform is compromised by attackers, they will and if they get access to those credentials, then they can use those credentials to log in some other portals. So so always try to make sure that you have different passwords for different portals. And that is also many times you will see in the guidelines, and maybe your organization will prompt you that, yeah, now you should reset your password. It has been more than 90 days, or some organizations have the policy to change the passwords on every 180 days. So that is also a good policy, but do not just keep rotating the cycle of the same passwords. So use some techniques you can also use some phrase and with uppercase and lowercase, but phrase is also not secure, but at least it is more secure in comparison to where people just note down the password and they will stick somewhere or in the drawer that they will keep it. And make the password like as I mentioned, long, like 8 to 12 alphanumeric characters with uppercase, lowercase, some numbers and some symbols that you can use. And always use make sure that passwords when you are trying to log in some systems, in the protocols that are used, they are strong protocols, and they do not just use the passwords in clear text. So that is also to make sure that your passwords are I mean, if infrastructure is somebody is monitoring, they will not get to know your passwords because it is getting forwarded into clear text. And also do not share passwords with someone else. So that is uh, by default. I mean, you should make sure that you are not sharing your password with any other person. And skeleton. So just getting back here. So these are like when you are working on security for your organization, many times you have to write down these kind of policies. For instance, a separate document will be like of 2 page or 3 page where you have the password policy, what kind of password security policy that you use. So all these points can be there, and make sure that your policy document is not very long. Otherwise, nobody will go through that. So 3 pages for 3 pages policy document is fine. And escalating privilege, what attackers do generally. So once they have compromised the machine, maybe they have got access as a normal user or a guest maybe. So what they will try to do, they will try to get admin rights or root access in Linux system, so that they can deploy some malicious applications. And that malicious applications or malwares, they will help them to collect confidential information or do some further activities, like if they want to compromise other systems and perform some more scan activities, they can perform that. So that is like escalating of privilege, so that to make sure that they can perform different activities of like getting access to the confidential information, deleting files, creating a new directory, installing some other malicious applications. So everything they can do it with the admin rights. So there are two different types of privilege escalation. So one is horizontal and another is vertical. So in horizontal privilege escalation, uh, generally you will have the same rights. So for instance, let's say there are two users, A and B, and they are using some online banking portal or some maybe other portal where they are doing some trade activities. And if they are like user A and user B and they have the same rights, so if attacker has got access to user A account, and if they are trying to get also access to user B, so they will try to get the same, they will get the same access. So because user A and user B has the similar privileges. So that is called the horizontal privilege escalation. So I have got access to one account, and now I'm trying to get access to a similar kind of account of someone else. So that is like, but in this type of access, of course, maybe I can get information about user B's confidential information. Maybe user B is storing some other information and user A has stored some other information. But in terms of privileges, they have the similar privileges on a particular machine or particular server. So I will get this like different kinds of information they are storing, but I won't have any higher privilege. So that is called horizontal privilege escalation. And then we have a vertical privilege escalation where, let's say I have got access to a user account, let's say of user A, and then I'm trying to get access to admin rights because my objective or is to install some malicious applications, and then I want to create a new directory where I will collect all the information, financial information, some trade secrets, some algorithm details, everything I will store in that directory, and then I will forward all those information or exfiltrate all those information on my command and control server. So that is like a vertical privilege escalation, where the objective is to get higher privilege, like an admin rights. And once attacker has got access to the system, as I mentioned earlier, they will not perform any malicious activities just after 1 hour. Their objective is to make sure that they do a maximum damage. And for doing maximum damage, what they will do, they will silently observe all the information for very long time, and they will collect as much information as they can. And once they have got access to all those information, then they will try to infer like how those information that they have collected in the long run, like 3 months, 4 months, and then they will try to analyze, and then they will plan their attacks, or that how I can leverage these information or use these information to perform some malicious activities, and make sure that adversary has a maximum damage. So that is like maintaining access. So they will try to maintain their access on the target system for a long time. So they will deploy some applications that will just monitor all the activities, like they will deploy some spyware, some malicious programs or malware that will just say they will not do any malicious activities. They will just observe all the user activities performed by different users, and collect all the information, and also try to see where in the servers that confidential informations are stored, and they will try to see also like at what time of the day that those servers are accessed, and who generally access those servers. For instance, I'm just giving an example, and they will try to monitor all these patterns for very long time, and then they will collect all those information continuously, and then they will analyze it, and then they will plan their attack, what type of attack that they want to perform to make sure that adversary has a maximum damage. So that is like maintaining the access. And once after, and this is only possible like once you have got higher admin rights, then only you can install further applications, or if you want to like modify something, then you can do that. So this is one of the tool, but it is not completely free. So you can try that, but I will show other tools that you can use to perform some activities. And once, for instance, we have performed our activities, or let's say attackers have achieved their goal, they have exfiltrated all the data, confidential information, sensitive information, then their objective is to clear all the logs so that they can hide the information, like what activities they performed. Maybe they had created a new directory where they collected all the informations, and then they steal all those data back on their command and control servers. Or maybe they deployed some ransomware and encrypted some confidential files, or they deleted some confidential files. So all those informations that they like activities that they perform, they will try to make sure that nobody understand what they did, and when they did, and when the system was sorry, compromised. So they will try to clear the logs. So that is the last objective. So they will use some malware or malicious application that can delete all the logs. So that is and generally logs are useful when you do some post incident analysis. So that will help you to understand what happened and how the system was compromised, what attackers did. So all these forensic activities, like post-incident detection, you can perform using the logs. And that is the first location that generally attackers, system administrator or security administrators, they will try to look into once they know that there was some incident happened, and then they will get access to these logs. So that's why it is also suggested by a lot of cybersecurity standards and some regulatory bodies also that you have a lot of systems, they are generating logs constantly with every activities. So always keep backup of those logs. So let's say on every after every 12 hours, maybe after 8 in the evening or 7 in the evening, most probably after 8 or 9, just export all those logs in some backup location, maybe some on other servers which have been purposely installed to keep all those backups of logs, and also make sure that these logs are encrypted, so that nobody will just go and look into the logs, what type of logs it is. So make sure that logs are secured, and only authorized person in the organization, they can go and check the logs. Not, we should not give rights to everyone to go and see the logs, what type of logs it is, and how it is stored and everything. So make sure that your logs are secured. You need and you have a good strong access control, and also the logs are encrypted as well. So that let's say the attackers compromise one server, and then they perform all those malicious activities, and then they deleted all the logs. So you have a backup. You can go and check that. Maybe, of course, you will not have information like maybe, for instance, let's say you did all the backup yesterday, but all the activities were performed by the attackers today, like all the malicious activities and that they did, or maybe they cleared the log today, but at least you will have the log till yesterday. So at least you will know when they entered in our infrastructure and what activities they were performing. Maybe they were just silently, like Trojans, through some Trojans, they will silently monitor, and they were silently monitoring all those activities and traffic for the 3-4 months. So at least you will have those information, and at least you can create a timeline of all the events, and you can understand what were the vulnerabilities and how they entered in our system. So at least you will know that, yeah, this was the weakness and this was the entry point in my system. And then they install some remote access Trojan, and they were monitoring all the activities. So that will help you to build a strong security controls for later stage. And also it will help you in understanding and having a document called lessons learned. So after every incident on the organizations that they once it has been detected and they have cleaned all the activity attacks, and they have recovered from the attacks, they have performed some post incident analysis, they will make sure that there is a document called lessons learned, and they will keep all the information, like how the system was compromised, what were the entry point, and what were the vulnerabilities, and which help attackers to get inside the system, and what security countermeasures that we can deploy in future to make our system more secure. So every organizations, generally make sure that once incident occur, you have a lessons learned document, so that you can prepare from having the logs. So that is always it also helps you in forensic activities when you are performing some digital forensics. Logs are widely used. So I will show that you can clear the logs using Meterpreter, which is like a tool which we use to perform pen testing activities. So you can use this clear EV command to clear all the logs. This is a John the Ripper tool. I will show that later on in the next session. This is a password cracking tool, and you will. It is also supported on Windows Linux, but I used it on my Kali Linux. So you can dump the hashes of SAM file and then use this John the Ripper tool to compromise, like break those hashes and get the clear text passwords. And today we will also see how we can create the Trojan. So that will also help you in performing some Trojan activities and make sure that your logs are very rich, like with scanning, like Nmap scan, different types of Nmap scan. You also have the denial of service attack information in your data, and then you also have the Trojan information in the data. So we will see how you can use to create the Trojans using the publicly available payload in Kali. So this is a tool that we generally use, MSF Venom, to create the Trojan. So in Kali, you will find publicly available payloads. So idea is to use those payloads and create a Trojan and then see whether your systems, like where you are performing the pen testing, is secured enough or not. So if you have Windows Defender updated and you are running Windows Defender and some other kind of intrusion detection tools, I mean, which are good. So generally they will flag that, yeah, this is a Trojan, and that it will help you in creating a document where you can mention that, yeah, security controls are good enough to detect these kind of Trojans. But let's say you have created a Trojan and you are performing pen testing and you deployed that Trojan on some system, but it was not detected. So that means the security of that system is not good, and maybe the Windows Defender is not running properly, or it is not updated, or there are some security misconfigurations. So idea is to use this publicly available payload and test the strength of your security controls. So this MSF Venom you can use to create the Trojan and deploy it on Windows machine, and then see whether your Windows is detecting it or not. So if, generally Windows Defender will detect that, and then it will quarantine or remove that Trojan. So these are all the different payloads. So in the next session, I will show that how you can use a particular Trojan. So you can use these Trojans, like you can see here. These are Trojans for Android operating system, Apple iOS. We also have payloads for Windows systems. So we will go through that. I will show that how you can use this reverse HTTP payload and create a Trojan. So what it will do, it will allow you to establish a reverse shell from your Windows machine to your Kali machine. So that means like it will behave like a remote access Trojan that is deployed in the Windows systems, and then you will get access to the Windows system, and you can perform like creating a directory, removing the directory. You can perform key logging activities and see all those logs, key logs on your Kali machine. You can also dump the SAM file and copy those hashes, and then run the password cracking tool like Hashcat or John the Ripper, and see the clear text password. So all those malicious things you can do. And the purpose is to see the strength of your security control. So the main idea is to like also understand how the pen testing works, and also to know like whether the security controls that are deployed is working properly or not. And then, I mean, idea is not behind like, yeah, to know these payloads and then try to create a Trojan which is undetected and I mean, which can obfuscate itself and then try to bypass the Windows. We are not going to do those things, but it is possible to do that. But our objective is to know how these things work and then get a rich data set when that you can use to perform some analysis using LLM or intrusion detection system or other CM tools. So this is a command that you will use to create the Trojan. So here you can see that this is a tool MSF Venom, and then -p is for the payload. So this is a payload Windows x64 meter preter, and this is the reverse underscore HTTP. This is the payload. And then the host is my Kali, so where it will communicate back. And then this is the port information on which it will forward all the information from the Windows machine. And then this -f and exe signifies that, yeah, this is the file which is of type exe. And then this indirection I'm giving and providing the name of the Trojan. So I have just given Trojan 64. But you have to give the payload information that you are using to create the Trojan, and which is the host or the command control server IP address and the port on which it will communicate back. So generally these kind of reverse shell, they communicate on port 8080. But we can find those information when you are trying to see the information about reverse underscore HTTP. So here you can see that reverse underscore HTTP, you will have these information. So L port that you can use is port 8080. So this reverse shell communicate back on port 8080, and L host is generally the command and control server IP address. So in my case, this is the Kali machine. So you can provide the IP address here. 10. For instance, 10.0.2.4. You can also encode the Trojan. So the purpose of encoding is to see whether it can bypass the security controls like Windows Defender or not. But these publicly available payload, even if you use encoder, it won't be able to bypass that, because these encoding the Windows Defender, it will detect it very easily. There are other tools for obfuscating these Trojans that you can use, but our scope is not to go and learn the obfuscation. So there, it is a totally different area. So it needs a separate time for that. But that is a process. You can use that and try to see whether it is working or not. Generally, it will not work. And then you can, for instance, if you are using encoding, you can use like this Shikata underscore GANI encoding technique, and you can encrypt it for 100 times, 500 times, but it won't be of much help actually. But to learn it, you can do that. And then this is a Metasploit framework that we will use. So Metasploit framework, which is a pen testing platform, which is already installed in Kali. So we will use that Metasploit framework, and you can start it using this command msfdb and init msf console, and then it will start the Metasploit on your Kali machine. I hope you have already downloaded Windows 10 or Windows 11 and install it on your virtual machine. And then what you can do once you have created the Trojan, you can use this scp command to securely copy this Trojan on your Windows machine. So this is SCP command secure copy I'm using. And this is the name of the file which I want to copy. And this is the username of my Windows machine. And then this is the IP address of my Windows machine. And then I have not provided the any specific directory. So generally what it will do, it will go and deploy that Trojan in user public directory. And once it has been deployed, you can use these commands. I will show that in the second half to how to start the handler. So the handler is running on your Kali machine, and that will handle all the information and of that Trojan. So it will run the MeterPreter shell, and then we can access that Trojan. So the handler, the main purpose is to run the handler and start the MeterPreter shell, which will manage that Trojan, and it will also help us to instruct and give the some command to that Trojan, and then the Trojan will behave accordingly. So once you run this here, as you can see here, I have provided the name of the shell payload that I'm using. So here I have given TCP, but it is reverse underscore HTTP that I used earlier. Then L host information, so that is the command and control server IP address. Then L port is my Kali machine port, so that is port 8080. And then you have to type run to run this handler, and then go and double click on the Trojan that you have copied on your Windows machine, and then this reverse shell will start. This MeterPreter shell will start. And then you can type help, and it will give all, there are a lot of different activities that you can perform. You can see the processes running, you can kill the process and everything, a lot of things that you can do. So for instance, here you can see that you can share the screen of your Windows, and you can see on your Kali machine the Windows screen. You can try to get a higher privilege. Sometimes it will work, sometimes you will have problem in getting the higher rights. But if you get the higher rights, then you can perform this hash dump to dump the hash of your SAM file. Without getting higher privilege like the admin rights, you cannot perform this hash dump. It will not work. But you can perform other activities, like you can create the directory, you can capture the key logs, you can see the processes, you can kill the processes. But for dumping the SAM file, you cannot do it without getting admin rights. So, but to get the admin rights, you have to type this command. I will show that later on. So this is just the screen share that you can perform. And once you have got like a higher rights, like admin rights, you can just type hash dump, and it will dump the SAM database on the Kali screen. You like MeterPreter shell, you will see that. And here you can see that this is the username administrator, and then this is the user ID. And as I had mentioned earlier, that either you will see a blank like star string in place of LM hash, or a constant string. So here you can see that there are constant string AAD3B, AAD3B in all the 5 accounts. So that means these are LM hashes, and they are disabled. But these like that you see here, 884631D6. So all these are anti-LM hash. So that is there. So this is present, but LM hashes are disabled, and like with AAD3B4. So this constant string demonstrate that indicates that LM hashes are disabled, or you will see the star. But in this case, right now, you can see that it is filled with some constant string. And once these hashes have been dumped, you can just copy these hashes in a separate file, and then run this tool, John the Ripper. And this is the name of the file where I have copied all those hashes. So that is the key is the name of the file. And then I have given the format as NT because I know that this is the Windows NT format. I mean, the hash is in the Windows NT format because it is Windows 11. So that's why I give dash dash format is equals to NT, and then it will run that. And then based on complexity, if the password is very easy, for instance, what I did, I just to see this whether it works or not, I ensure that my password is just user. I mean user, as you can see here with everything in lowercase, and then this is the user, which is username. So it easily cracked that. But if you will make sure that your password is complex, then it will take very long time to compromise that password, to crack that password. Then you can also perform different types of activities like running the different processes. It will list all the processes with parent process ID, with process ID, and you can use some command to also kill those processes. And once you have performed all these activities, as I mentioned, that from attacker's perspective, what they try to do, they will clear the logs. So clear EV command is the command to clear all the logs to make sure that logs are deleted. So what you can do to make sure that the logs are secured, always the best security to make sure that your logs are always there. Make sure that you have a separate logging facility where you keep all those backup logs on some other machines, and make sure that the new events are not overriding old entries in the log file. Many a times what happens, if it has reached some limits, logs have reached some limits, the new entries will just override old entries. So make sure that everything is configured properly. And you also have some like access control mechanism sets to access the logs on the machine, and also make sure that all unused ports and services are closed, and constantly like every 12 hours, just make sure that all logs are copied to some another server where we will have proper like backup of all the logs, so that if logs are somehow deleted by attackers, then we can use those backup logs. Let's say even if the if attackers do not delete the logs, but what they can do, they can create a malicious application, because if cyber criminals are very well trained, what they will do, they will create a backup, like they will create a application, and what that application will do, it will purposely encrypt all the logs with some random characters, and then you won't be able to use those logs. So it is always good to have a backup of all the logs. So let's get back and see the questions.
This is our minister and ask for the PPT.
Yeah, I will share that, sir. I'm
Yeah.
making some changes and I will share that.
Yes, sir. You just share to Sumit sir. He is
Yeah.
going to share in the
Sure,
group.
sure. So what you can do, like as I have mentioned, you can use Nmap scan, for instance. You can use OpenVAS vulnerability assessment tool. And also you can create the Trojans, and while performing all these activities, you can capture all the data on the Windows machine and save those captured data in PCAP format and also in the CSV format, that you can use some large language model to analyze all those data sets to get the insight about the attack. And also you can use some machine learning or deep learning model to, if you want to build some model to detect those attacks. So that is also project that you can do. And also you can do some other projects where you can just see, for instance, let's say you are using OpenVAS or this Metasploit. So how LLM can be helpful in performing these tasks. So how to plan effectively, and once you are getting some output, whether you can feed it in some chatbots like GPT app and see what are the outputs and how I can plan my further activities. So all these different kinds of projects you can do right now. I will share the email ID and in LM hash, all alphanumeric characters are replaced by stars feature. Yeah. I have shown that in LM hash that you can see that either it will be a constant is string, or it will be just blank. Either it will be blank, or it will be having stars or a constant string that you will see.
Sir.
So you can what also you can do, like for passwords, you can change it every 3 months or 4 months, but also you can use like some phrase which you can remember. For example, I'm just giving a very easy example. Let's say you have set the passwords like a quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So this phrase you can remember. And what you can do, like you can make sure that every first letter of every word in this phrase is an uppercase letter, and then between those
Your
different
screen is
words.
not visual, Rishikesh.
Sorry.
Your screen is not visual.
Oh, I'm not sharing the screen right now because I'm just answering the questions. So let me, because I'm taking these questions. Let me, because those answers are not here actually. So what you can do, you can select some like those phrases, and then make sure that all those different words of that phrase is like the first letter of every word is uppercase, and then you can fill uh, like the gaps of between those words with some special characters, and then you can easily remember. But there have been some also critic on these phrases, because phrases are also not secure, but at least it is that much secure as compared to where people just like write down the passwords, and they will keep in the drawer of their office. So it is better to have those that much of like use some phrase, and that will be at least more secure than that. And let's go and see other questions. Not the same password. I mean, in the horizontal privilege, of course, the password will be different for different user accounts. But what kind of task that you can perform, that will be more or less similar. Of course, maybe different users will have different information stored in their directory and everything, that you will get different information. But the type of task that you will perform, it will be the same. So generally logs contain all those events, like it can contain like IP addresses, port information, and other protocol. If it is the logs of intrusion detection systems, if it is the log of Windows security event, where you can see the event ID, and then what type of activity that was performed, who performed those activities. So all those, so it depends which log it is. If it is a firewall log, it will be in a different format, and it will contain different information. If it is intrusion detection system logs, it will contain different information, like IP addresses, port informations, protocols, and also like timestamps. So it depends like which applications you are looking into. So then rootkit is also kind of like it will give you the root like the access like through this is a like comes under the whole category of different malwares that will allow you to maintain the access over the systems. And I will show you tomorrow like how intrusion detection logs look like, because that is also one project that you can do. You can install intrusion detection systems, perform some attacks, and then all those activities will be logged into the intrusion detection systems. And then you can use those logs and use some large language models to analyze those logs and infer or some insights from those logs, and then try to later on you can think for how you can improve the intrusion detection systems to with more accuracy and precision. So that is also one thing that you can do. I will show that tomorrow. Yeah, I will show the slide in the second half about the John the Ripper.
Okay, then I think, sir, we should stop here.
Yeah, I will show that about the system hacking and Metasploit used for beginners. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
I will share my email address that you can, if you have any questions, you can ask that.
Okay, then thanks all. Again, we'll join at 12 o'clock with
Thank you, sir.
discussion.
Thank you.